We're here in the beautiful Malta and we speak interesting people. And could you please introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Francesco ANDREOLI. I'm based in Zurich and I'm partner of We Capital. We are a frontier market investment venture fund, and we're very excited to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
All right. Actually, one of the projects you are involved in is Keybox. Could you please explain the concept?
Sure. Basically, what we are trying to achieve with Keybox is decentralized data storage, and it's a very interesting concept because we're not just hashing. We are creating fragments through Charmer Secret, and we can creating fragments of any information that we want, from private key storage to password information. Very interesting.
But how does it actually work to make fragments of data, decentralized data?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what you're doing is you compress any file. You are using this algorithm called Charmer Secrets. You basically create little secrets. It's basically our fragments. Then you're putting on a permissioned blockchain. In our case, we're working with Active Ledger, and it's our tech team based in London.
All right. So it's a permission blockchain.
Exactly. It's a permission because what we are looking right now is, especially on our POC side, enterprise wanna be on a permission side because of the sensitivity of the data.
And Active Ledger is actually like a competitor to RD Corda or Hyperledger.
Exactly. Right now they're running on a testnet, and it's quite interesting because it's all the nodes are private. And in our future, we envision also, if we need to be customizable on a company, we'll also be able to spin in the nodes privately in the enterprise company.
Right. That's a huge market. I mean, if you look at all the corporations moving into this permission blockchains, it can be huge, especially the data.
Exactly, totally agree. If you're looking at the use case right now, everybody thinking about data breaches in terms of data at rest. But as we discussed in the panel yesterday, transactional data, so everything that is happened outside and in connection with third-party company in your enterprise is extremely at risk. So this is actually a huge use case that we're selecting right now in terms of our POCs.
Yeah, because the deals you were talking about are quite big. I mean, the Swiss bank, Deutsche Bank eventually, so...
Exactly. I mean, right now in terms of POC, we have different infrastructure provider. They're looking to either having a better method to communicate with a third-party company without giving out liability too much, or there are basically backups or the sensitive information. And we're looking, for example, as payment transactions, user informations, passport information. It's very interesting because it's not just data at rest, as I said, but it's also the transaction that you have it.
Okay, so the benefits for the bank is especially the transaction, the secure data while data is transacted, sent.
Exactly. You're totally right. I mean, what's happening today? We started as a wallet, and then through our investments, through our POCs, we're understanding that people want to build on Keybox. That's why also we said ourselves we want to provide APIs and their SDK for anyone want to build on their platform. And especially because big infrastructure, they have already their platform, and that's perfect for them.
And if you look at the regulation side, is it do we need to change the law for this kind of new?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting question, and actually is a kind of gray area if you look at fragmenting piece of data. But it's quite interesting because Active Ledger put also a territoriality piece, so that, for example, if you're looking about GDPR compliances, we can also select special private nodes that are only in the Eurozone, for example. So it's a very interesting fact if you're looking at GDPR compliance, for example, because we are able to comply in that sense. We just need to be sure that, for example, fragment will be stored in those nodes. Yeah.
Okay, so you can actually identify the nodes in the several jurisdictions and
Exactly. We can select, and it's quite interesting because when we are looking about sending data fragments to a third-party company, everybody like a get transfer business model, you can send your link to your friends. It is extremely bad if you're looking at that point. And what we want to try to reach is a programmable transfer. So basically, in our case, we can say, look, Vessel, you can fetch how many times, like 2 times the data that you receive, and how many times and what the length. So actually we are also able to say you're opening the data, if in the future will be, for example, a frauding, you're screenshotting an image that you're not, we will be sure that you are the last one that visualize it. So it's quite an interesting topic, but I think we are going to be there soon.
And just a few more questions. How do you actually monetize it? What is the business model as a service model, or?
Exactly. Right now, I mean, my personal opinion, I'm looking at an IBM Watson business model, and it's based on API call, also for large institution. And we said ourselves that's a winning model because people want to have this customization effect. So when we're looking, for example, how many APIs are you using, how many write and calls and read are you doing, and then you paid for that. Of course, you have a transaction model, but you have also a storage model. So you will be paying in terms of API calls and in terms of storage that you're doing. So, and you need to find as enterprise the sweet spot, because you can have more transaction but less data stored. Yeah. Let's say a MasterCard transaction or a KYC provider, or you can tell I'm just doing one transaction but bigger storage. And I mean, here we are speaking about petabyte files in CSV. I mean, it's huge data, and you just need to find the sweet spot, the sweet spot. Yeah.
All right. To conclude, I mean, you're quite experienced in this space. You see a lot of projects. What are actually? Can you name a few favorite projects you're into?
I mean, I'm really looking at use cases. When I'm looking at data storage, I'm very keen on everything gone through IPFS, for example, on a Filecoin, a Siacoin. I love those projects, although the delivery is still not there. And then everything that you can build. Okay. Yes, I mean, if you're looking at this storage solution, I mean, people are getting more aware that they're giving away privacy. I mean, look at an Amazon Echo. It's you can buy it for $30, but what in reality is it should be costing $1,000, and the rest are you giving that as privacy and information about the customers. So, for me, the use case of data will be huge. Then there is a transparency case. I really love like what Provisis Foundation is Zurich is doing with Vetris, trying to bring back the identification, trying to bring back the data back to the consumer. That's actually the vision from the beginning. We should have that.
All right. So thank you very much for your time. All the best, Francesco, and yes, see you hopefully a time in Amsterdam. So
yes, definitely. I would love to.
Okay.
Bye bye.